I really believe that mothers and children are like a forgotten species in our modern day society. Like, you become a mom and then suddenly you're like pushed out. Go find your mommy and me group. Go figure it out on your own. And we'll see you when you can be productive again.
The job of being a mother, it feels a lot for one person because it was never meant to be for one person.
Exactly.
It was meant for a village.
A village
was
like, let's remember how to take care of our moms.
Yeah.
They need rest. They need proper nutrition. They need help. They need love. They need loving touch. They to just help them through this transition from woman to mother.
No woman chooses to be a single mother. That's a lie. There are tons of women who purposely choose to be a single mother because in their mind, I don't want the man, I just want the baby. And I'm going to consciously choose a man I know will not fight to stay in this child's life, or that I can easily push out the way, because I don't want anyone else's influence on this child. I want this child only for me.
I will say I've never heard that before. I never saw it from that perspective at all.
Yeah, it happens a lot. And I think people just assume that and I'm not saying there aren't plenty of women who did not choose to be single mothers, but there are I've had clients flat out tell me, just give me the baby. I don't want the man.
Let me tell you the best ways to date a single mom. Step 1, don't. For the past 10 years, we've seen a massive rise in single mothers. These are women who got smashed by all the chads in her 20s, got knocked up, and now they want a man to come and take care of them. And not just any kind of man. They want a safe, secure, and stable beta male provider to come and make her life easier. You know, the kind of guys she brutally rejected in her 20s? Yeah, she wants those guys to come and save her from her poor life choices. And do you know what those men are doing? The only sane thing you would do. They're saying no. Single mothers have been on the rise, and men have realized that it's just another symptom of the crazy, toxic feminist culture we live in today. Society tells men they should be providers without expecting anything in return and without holding women accountable. Society treats women like princesses and shames men if they don't do what women tell them to. Well, sorry ladies, dating a single mother is a terrible deal today, and it's not because men are insecure. Women always play that card when they don't have any more cards to play. But before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to JSG3 who said, "Undateable is an understatement." Well said, my friend. This gave me a nice chuckle. So please, don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5. As usual guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons too, as it helps a lot. Now, back to the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
But let's get into the data. Is single motherhood really on the rise? Yes, it is. As of 2023, single motherhood has risen very quickly. About 80% of single-parent families are headed by single mothers. This is a huge chunk of the US population where around 11 million single-parent families exist, and the vast majority of these are single mothers. Another thing you should be aware of is that about 31.3% of these women live in poverty. But the average single mother household brings in around $52,000. If you compare that number with the amount a married couple brings in, which is around $107,000, it starts to become pretty clear. Single mothers are either in poverty or struggling to support their children. Single mothers are experiencing the consequences of their life choices in a society that refuses to hold women accountable. Feminism told women they could do it all and have it all, but they completely screwed women over. They forgot to teach them about the potential long-term consequences of their choices, and now these women are desperate to be saved. But men, if these figures tell you anything, it should tell you this. most of these women do not want you. They want your money. It's an economic necessity that she doubles her income. And the fastest way of doing that is to get a safe, nice guy provider to share all his money with her.
I didn't want to post this because when I recorded it, I said some things that I didn't actually want to put out there online. But yesterday was parents' evening for Marciel and Miguel. I was going to say Malakel. And I really found it hard. Everyone was there in couples, or mum and dad had shown up together to get through it. And I just found it so emotional. Like, there was just me. Marciel's also been told to bring in a family photo. And I'm like, what? This is going to get real awkward. And here I was just sitting outside at the parents' evening by myself, and it just didn't rip me in pieces. Like, how do we do it? How do you guys do it? And sometimes I'm actually like quite embarrassed. I feel like the parents at the school look at me and wait to see the other half, but it's just me. But yeah, I'm so proud of them anyway.
I'm not happy that these women are struggling. I saw it coming for years, but it's a classic case of don't say we didn't warn you. As men, we know that life is hard. If a woman walked a mile in a man's shoes, she'd go crying to the sisterhood about how oppressed she felt. There was that time around 15 years ago when a feminist disguised herself as a man for 2 years to feel what it was like to be a man. And here's how that went.
The irony is not lost on Nora that it took a trip into manhood to help her appreciate her own femininity.
I'm so much closer to myself than I ever was, that I really like me. I really like being me, and I really like being a woman. Men are suffering. They have different problems than women have, but they don't have it better. They need our sympathy, they need our love, and they need each other more than anything else. They need to be together.
Do you think women understand what it's like to be a man?
Not at all. No clue. No idea.
Did you like being a woman before, Ned?
I did, but I like it more now because I think it's more of a privilege.
The story about Nora Vincent is wild. She saw how we are treated, and after 18 months of living as a man, she couldn't do it anymore. She said that she was treated so horribly by women that she couldn't believe that's how men lived every day. Well, this is the life of your average man. We struggle to survive in a society that has never cared about us and never will. And one thing that this struggle taught us is that money is important. To a man, money is freedom, and society assesses the worth of a man by how much he provides. We're built for this. So when men saw women say, "We can be strong and independent," we knew it was a recipe for disaster. We know how hard it is to make money, and we saw women lining up to enter the meat grinder. And this is exactly what's happening. Women are in trouble. They're either single and childless, or they're single mothers trying to support a family alone. These women spent their 20s having their fun getting ran through by Chad and Tyrone, and now they're broke and struggling, and they want you to save them. Men, this is not your responsibility to save these women, and it's absolutely not your fault this is happening. This is the fault of feminism, and it's feminism that needs to publicly come out and address these women with a public apology. But asking modern women to take accountability is like asking a fish to climb a tree. So let's move on.
What do you bring to the table?
I'm not going to answer this question. This is just something that I wouldn't answer in a date. I'm not going to answer here.
Fine.
I'm not going to answer how many books I've read.
Okay.
It's that power dynamic.
What do you expect men to bring to the table?
Integrity, clarity, consistency, strong connection to divinity, not necessarily religion, but some kind of purpose-based lifestyle.
So what is the female equivalent of that?
The same.
Then why wouldn't you just say that at the table when he asks you?
It's feminism's fault that modern women are struggling. They did it to themselves. But like everything else that's wrong in this society, men are being blamed for it. And once again, it's men who are being burdened with the responsibility of fixing it. Here's how society works. When women are suffering, people say, "How can we change society?" But when men are suffering, people say, "How can men change themselves?" People see weakness in a woman and they want to help. They see weakness in a man and they want to stamp it out. Modern single mothers are asking where all the good men are. They can't see things from the man's perspective. They're in their 30s with a kid or two, wondering why their Prince Charming won't come and save them. These women are absolutely delusional to think that men are responsible for their poor life choices. And they're completely delusional to think that a top-tier man will come into her life just to be an ATM for her and her kids. What's the upside? There isn't one. Men don't want to date single mothers, for very good reasons. But before we dive into those, let's talk about why this tidal wave of single mothers is happening in the first place. You'll often hear single mothers say things like, I have to be selective of who I let into my life and my kids' life now. And it's completely delusional. If she cared so much for her kids, maybe she should have stayed with the husband she just left. When these women say selective, they think their value is still high, which it isn't. And they want only the high-value men, the ones who aren't interested in them at all. The sexual empowerment movement from toxic feminism told women that it was perfectly okay to rack up ridiculous body counts. And while we're on the subject, it also shames men for having an opinion about it. Feminism started out with noble intentions, but at some point, it went off the rails and started telling young women that selling their bodies on OnlyFans or having countless drunk hookups was sexual empowerment. I don't think feminism has any idea what sexual empowerment actually means. Doing what you want and ignoring the consequences is not sexual empowerment. That's exactly what they told 2 generations of women. And now, we've got a ton of women who take their advice, banged every Chad in society, and now they've got baby Tyrone to take care of. Another thing we need to talk about is marriage. The majority of divorces are initiated by the woman. 80% of all divorces happen because the woman gets bored and moves on. This society has completely lost connection to the meaning of commitment and loyalty. We've become a culture based on short-term gratification, and because of TikTok, we can barely focus for longer than 10 seconds. The majority of modern women don't stand a chance of surviving the challenges of a relationship. Feminism says, don't put up with him and move on. Go, girl! And never stops to remind women that a relationship is tough sometimes and you can't just leave at the first sign of trouble. But that's what modern women do. Instagram has convinced an entire generation that the grass is always greener on the other side. Women are convinced that if they divorce their husbands, some Chad is waiting to sweep them up. When they get a strong dose of reality when Chad doesn't want them anymore, and that's what modern single mothers are today, Chad's leftovers. The whole narrative of the boss babe screwed women up in the long run. Why would a woman want to do everything on her own? Even if you could, you're making life harder for yourself. It's like women wanted to experience what it was like to be a man, and men advise them against it because we know that being a man is extremely hard. But toxic feminism convinced women that men are privileged and life is easy for them. And now, they're realizing that being strong and independent is hard. And this is why many men aren't sympathetic. They're just experiencing firsthand what it's like to be a man, and they're crying on TikTok about it.
We the best music, DJ Khaled. I don't know if you could take it.
Marriages are like pancakes. No shame in throwing the first one out.
You would never need another lover. Cause you a MILF and I'm a
Now, let's talk about the valid reasons men don't want to date single mothers. Dating single mothers is mostly a trap, but one you can see coming a mile away. Watch any video on TikTok and see how much she's struggling. Now imagine that same struggle being yours. That's what a modern single mother is looking for.
When I got with, I was in a previous relationship for 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. And I got with a single mother, and when I never had any children, right? And I specifically remember my mum saying, I don't know, son. This might not be the one, but I know you say you love her, but I don't know. And the thing is, my mum turned out to be right.
But also,
right? Because my mum, as a woman of age who's already had her children, she could foresee the future that I couldn't see. I'm in love, Mom. I love this woman. Yeah, I'm great. She's thinking, down the road, son. There was no red pill. There was no manosphere to help me out when I was in that situation.
For the sake of the argument, let's say you start dating a single mother. You're now with a woman in her 30s who had her fun in her 20s. She's got 2 kids with another man and expects you to raise them because he's not in the picture anymore. You're in a situation with a ton of potential baggage, emotional trauma, drama, all of it. And what if her ex turns up one day? What a shitstorm that would be. And not only that, at some point, her kids start saying things like, "You're not my real dad, I don't have to do what you say." And when her kids start saying things like this, she'll take their side over yours because single mothers prioritize their children above everything. Now you're in a toxic family dynamic full of drama. And let's say it gets so bad that she decides to leave you. We know that after the first divorce, each divorce becomes more likely. In this scenario, you could end up paying alimony and child support for kids that aren't even yours. In this whole relationship, you'll be expected to take on all of the responsibility with zero authority and barely any respect. Another reason why no man wants to date a single mother is that there's no bigger proof of bad choices in a woman than being a single mother. As a man, you have to look at someone's past before you decide to build a future with them. If you get involved with a single mother who has shown bad judgment on previous occasions, you can't expect her to magically be different with you. Personality is consistent across time. I'm not saying people can't change. I'm saying it's really fucking difficult. And if you're with a single mother, it won't take her long to start reminding you that you're not the father of her kids anytime you try to correct them. This is one of the issues that most people don't talk about: authority. But when the kids want to buy something, you're suddenly an asshole if you say no. The level of disrespect some men tolerate by being her own personal credit card is insane. Now, the major reason why these single moms are making videos and crying over the internet that men no longer want them is not because they feel unloved. Yes, they're lonely, but they're not looking for love. They're searching for help. They need someone that they can share their burden with. Don't be fooled, men. Being with a single mother is a trap. One of the most obvious signs that a man has low self-worth is if he starts dating a single mother. It sounds harsh, but it's true. This is a man who hasn't spent time considering the obvious downsides. This is a man who believes that a single mother in her mid-30s is all he can get. He doesn't realize that his sexual market value is increasing and that he could get a hot single childless woman in her 20s if he moved to another country. Or he's fallen victim to brainwashing manipulative feminist propaganda that tells men they're wrong for refusing single mothers. Men, I've said it many times before, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Get your passports, build your wealth, make still the mind, and make savage the body. Raise your value and take care of yourself as you age. All the advantages go to you. Don't settle for scraps. You deserve better. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.